Hey, everybody. Welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and we are here live for day 2 in Toronto at the IAM conference. And I'm so blessed and honored to be here today with many folks. But to start off with Jacques Monnier here from Brighter International Moving. How are you, Jacques?
Very good. What about you?
It's good to see you again. We hooked up last year, and you did a little interview with me, and I got to know a little bit about Brighter. How's things been?
Oh, fantastic. A big year, very busy. We had
big year, busy year. Man, that's amazing.
We were swamp all summer.
Were you up this year over last year?
I would say no.
No? Okay.
No, I would say there's a slight difference.
Sure.
Lower, 5 to 10%.
Honestly, 5 to 10% is outperforming the market. I mean, what we're hearing really is 10 to 30 or 20 to 30% down for a lot of people. So, so being 5 to 10 down, I mean, it's just nice.
Yeah. So obviously we are pretty good with what we did.
Yeah.
But we see the market anyway that going down a little. You know, we can see the inflation, the economy, the interest going up. So it's affecting the movers for sure.
Yeah. Get in the comments right now. I want to hear your thoughts, your comments. Let us know who you are, where you are. The show wouldn't exist without you. So get in the comments on LinkedIn, on Facebook, wherever you're watching this. We're live streaming this simulcast right now via my LinkedIn profile, but also the IAM page. So it's really fun. We get to do this. Adrian Grimes checking in over here. Awesome. Good to see Adrian from Glomo HQ in Dallas. Look at that. Julie Coleman. We saw Julie Coleman walking by earlier. It's a great conference. She said, I got to ask you, Jacques, has been the of the IAM conference this year for you?
Well, first, it's my hometown. Toronto. I'm born in Montreal, but Toronto, it's, we've been, as we've grown, we came many times here in Toronto. So I know Toronto very, very well. So, yeah, I'm happy that it is in Canada. And I think a lot of people enjoy right now Canada.
How is it different being in Canada? Because it's usually in the States. The last time it was in Canada was about 10 in Vancouver. I remember that fondly. I got to sit on my first panel at a conference. It was fantastic. What's it like having the conference in Canada this year?
Oh, I can bring all my staff, my main staff, my managers, which I would not be able to do if it was in the US. And everybody's exciting, because I can bring these people here. They can have a first shot experience, with the IAM. So everybody enjoy right now. Everybody's very excited to be here, to meet with a lot of agents, and it's exciting to be here. And it's a great place, it's fantastic, the place.
Toronto's amazing. We were out last night. I'm not going to tell you how late we stayed out, Jacques, but it is a fun town for sure. Get in the comments. I want to hear from you out there. Hit that like button. I run into people all day at the show, and they're like, oh, I watch you on Love and Reload. I'm like, get in the comments. Participate here. Bianca checking in from New Jersey. Looking forward to hearing about some industry expectations and trends for 2024. Awesome, Bianca. You know what? We're just going to take that lead there. Keep them coming in the comments. We're going to take your comments and prioritize them. So, industry trends. What are you looking forward to or anticipating in?
Well, it is, of course, I'm following all the news, that comes from everywhere, IAM and other trend of the news. And it also, it's going to be tough this year. It's going to be tough in 2024. I do have some great news to let you know.
What you got? You got news for breaking news here.
Breaking
Jacques
news.
is breaking news. Everybody stop. Jacques is breaking news, guys.
All right.
He's breaking news.
Yes. So I can announce right now 7 new locations.
7
in
at
2024. All in the
7?
Yes. So we are opening right now Portland, San Francisco, Fresno, Los Angeles, San Diego, Las Vegas, and Boise, Idaho.
What? Congratulations, Jacques.
Thank you.
That is incredible. 7 new locations next year. What has prompted this incredible growth spurt for you?
Well, really once we opened Seattle, Washington, we saw the demand. We saw that our Canadian shipment going to California, we passed through Seattle. And really, my belief is that if the economy is going to go bad, we need to do something to put it up. So for me, It go bad, we invest, we go up. And
I love it.
this is the way that I feel that our company is not going to go down. It's if we push, if we develop, that's going to bring good stuff.
I love it. I love it. It reminds me of the Warren Buffett quote: when people are greedy, be scared. When people are scared, be greedy. There's so much value to be had out there in the marketplace. We see it on the talent side where salaries and offers are kind of down 5 to 10%. We see it, with the cost of equipment out there. There's, deals to be had on equipment for the first time in years.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that, Jacques?
Yeah, we see that, and obviously, we go with the flow for that. We have no option. We need trucks, we need guys, we need the equipment to manage what we do. But there is a way of doing it, and I think we at Brighter International, we found the way. We have some secret, that work for us. And we have great people in Seattle now, and we move some staff sometime from Miami to Los Angeles. And last week we moved 30,000 pounds into a 53-foot. 3 guys, one
That's
from
good
San
density.
Diego.
That's good density, by the way, out there for you moving nerds out there. 30,000 pounds and 53-foot truck.
Going to Canada. So that it went perfect, and this is what we are looking now.
So you're looking at doing a lot of so you got that cross-border lanes going.
Yes, a lot. But also our interest is really to open in the U.S. market right now,
Wow.
so that our name can be not only in Canada. Canada is a small market. Everybody fight to their teeth. To have inches. But the U.S. market, it's a great market to develop.
It's so interesting because, I come from a U.S. perspective, right? And we're, oh gosh, the market is so bad, this and that. No matter how bad you think your market is, there's somebody else looking at it and they're envious and they're ready to hop in it. So just remember that it's like a quote what I heard, it's like you're working out at the gym, you look to the left, and you're like, man, I would kill to be that guy. And then you look to the right and there's a guy that would kill to be you, Yeah. It's like, so in the U.S., just remember, we have it really good out there. Okay. Now I got to ask you, how many locations did you have in the U.S. before? Well, do you have currently before next year?
We have now 2, Florida and Seattle.
Where in Florida?
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So like just north of Miami.
Yes.
Like Broward
Yes.
County or something, I think.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So you got that South Florida location.
Yes.
And you got the Seattle location really close by.
Yeah.
Really very near to one another.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very easy to reposition equipment and staff between each
Yeah.
other. You could have found places that were further apart. I don't think
it's $150 to move someone in a plane today. It's very cheap,
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's fantastic. So now all this expansion in the West, what is going to fuel that? I mean, is it corporate business? Is it government business? Is it COD business? What are you relying on, or what are you banking on to fuel that kind of growth?
Yeah, we are looking for a different type of customer. We offer quality. Brighter International is named for quality of service, not only for the logistic, but also for the packing. And we use special boxes, very like 44B boxes. You can come out our
What are these boxes? Tell me about these boxes you're talking about, because I don't know about this.
See, everybody use 32C. They are thin, very thin boxes because they save money,
Okay.
But you put a second box on top and they crush. And then you have claims, and then you have unhappy customer, unhappy corporation, that say, hey, you damage our customer things. We use 44B. You can stack 4 boxes on top and nothing will crush. And I invite you to come to our booth to visit. We have some boxes. It's, very more expensive. It's double price. But at the end of the day, we have calculated in a year, we pay about $100,000 more in boxes. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah. But we save $1,000 of in claim. And also our reputation is always intact,
That's another area where you're different. You really zag where everyone else zigs, or vice versa. I don't know how the saying goes, but you do everything differently. That's what I find so innovative about you. And because a lot of people are innovating with technology and all this stuff, but you're innovating with process.
Yes.
I find that really interesting, because when I talk to moving companies here in the States, I mean, they are just all about getting their paper goods costs down and really working those box prices and those box vendors down. And you're actually investing in this thing that a lot of people are viewing as a commodity.
Yes, you need to think out of the box. Today, it's a difficult time. Everything that is happening, but you need to think out of the box. This is our model, and it works. So I think it can work for the American companies as well. They just need to think out of the box, take maybe less volume, but think about more quality, to be successful.
And another thing I want to talk about is equipment. I mean, we're gonna really nerd out here on some moving stuff. I promise we're not gonna be this in the weeds the whole show, y'all. But you do things different from an equipment standpoint too.
You remember last year we talked about pickup trucks and trailers.
You're using pickup trucks and trailers. Tell me about that decision.
Oh man, that's I've been 44 years in that business. I used to have like everybody 5-ton truck, and it's complicated. You can find drivers so that you can find it's costly. Insurance are costly. I came up 25 years ago with I had a pickup. I rent a big trailer, and we started to move. And the guy said, "Hey, we love that. It's not at that high. It does a good work. I can bring 5 guys in the pickup. Big trucks, you can only bring 3 guys.
Right.
And all of our Canadians now, we have only one straight trucker in Mississauga. All the one, it's all pickups and trailers, and they work perfect.
Incredible. So you can bring 5 guys to the job instead of 3 in a day cab, and it's lower to the ground.
Yes. It's cheaper for insurance. It's cheaper for the gas. It's, maintenance is cheaper.
You don't need a CDLA to drive
I said last year, your mother could even drive the pickup.
You get my mom in a pickup truck, and I'll give you credit for that. Hey, look at this. We got people stopping by the booth here. Phenomenal. This is great. The energy is fantastic.
So anyone can drive a pickup truck.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Yes. So smart. So smart.
And we do a lot of swap, with this. I bring from Montreal to Ottawa, I swap. I bring a trailer to Ottawa. I take another trailer, come back to Montreal. Things I will never be able to do with a 5-ton truck,
Can you hitch those trailers together and daisy chain them and tow them together?
Yes.
As possible?
To do what?
2 trailers at one time?
No, not these kind of trailers.
Not those kind of trailers?
No.
Really interesting. Well, I got to think that it also gives you a advantage when it comes to recruiting drivers.
Yes.
It's got to be so much easier to recruit drivers with pickup trucks.
We have no issue with drivers. It's really easy.
No issue with drivers. The driver shortage has been probably the most talked about issue of the last 20 years in the moving industry. And Jacques has no issue with drivers.
Yes.
That's incredible.
No
issue.
No
wonder you're paying more for boxes. You're like, I got no problem.
Actually, I pay less. I mean, these guys, they don't have, a GL license,
Yeah, this is great. We got people coming in here. Get in the comments. I want to hear your comments. Next, we have David Cox from JK, but I want to hear your comments here. So let's see. We got Samantha Davidson checking in. We have an awesome education and schooling consultant in Toronto. Great city. Yeah, good to hear from you, Samantha. Bianca Pardo, thanks for the input. Another thought. Speaking of the U.S. versus other markets, are you seeing an influx of moves coming from any one location to the U.S. or vice versa? Where are you seeing those popular lanes? What are the popular origins for moves to the U.S. and where are you seeing the moves coming from and going to?
Yeah, San Francisco is it's a hot spot.
I was just there last week. It is a hot spot, but are you seeing people move out or move in?
Move out.
Move out.
Yes, and Los Angeles is getting difficult. So a lot of the requests are. We are bringing a shipment from Canada to California, but we see more requests from California to Canada. Like the one of last week, we did 30,000 pounds. That was a gentleman moving from Long Beach to Toronto, actually.
So is your business primarily, I don't think I caught the answer before. Is your business primarily corporate? Is it consumer? Is it government?
60%, 55% will be private.
Private.
We love private. Business. We love private consumer business. That's
and then we're going to talk a little bit about kind of some of that consumer business coming up here in a bit. But I got to ask you, are you seeing the cost of customer acquisition going up, staying the same, or going down? How expensive is it to find these customers?
It's not that complicated. I think it's more complicated to find real sales people, that knows how to manage, the customer. But we receive about 2,000 requests in a month, 2,000 requests in a month. Wow. So it's not a question.
Is that organic traffic or through your website?
They are organic. They are a website. They are all kind of things we do. It can be Google ads. It can be social networking we do. So it's the name also, quality. Once you are quality movers, I mean, the word spread fast, so it's kind of all kind of, but total it total to about 2,000 requests in a year.
That's really incredible.
That's why I say the challenge is to find more the adequate sales staff, to be able to talk with these customer, explain, and get these customer on board with us.
Yeah, really interesting. Great question, Bianca. Here, Adam, our IAM stream's not live. Oh, okay. Well, you got to reconnect the destination probably. Hey, we're just getting some technical going on here, but you're here on our LinkedIn Ben Cross stream, so hit us up there. Hit that like button as well here. So as Toronto's home base, I see Mississauga there on your tag, there on your badge. What advice would you give to us out of towners about enjoying the city?
Toronto.
Got a couple more nights left here.
Yeah. Well, if it was Montreal, that would be easier. I would get you.
I spent a lot of time in Montreal in college. I went to school in upstate New York and Albany.
Yeah.
We would hit Highway 87, go boom, right up there, right through there.
Yeah.
And we were there.
Yeah, it's Montreal is the place to enjoy, but Toronto, I mean, you got a lot of activities. I think there's a game tomorrow night. The Leafs are starting tomorrow night.
Oh, the Leafs are playing tomorrow night.
I believe that's so. There's a go around, and there's not a specific place. If you go more west, I mean, it's more business. There's nothing much to do.
All right, I got to ask, since you brought up the idea of sports here, and we're right here next to the Rogers Center, and we got it all around. I want you to rank for me. You a sports fan, Jacques?
Yeah, I used to play hockey 10 years.
All right, I want you to rank for me the Toronto sports teams.
Toronto sport team, Raptor, the Maple Leafs.
Which one's number one?
Oh,
Your
which
favorite.
one is number?
Rank
Oh,
them
my
for me.
favorite. That will be I love the Blue Jays. Yes.
Yeah, you love the Blue Jays.
I really love.
Really, even a hockey guy like you loving the Blue Jays.
I love the Habs, Montreal hockey, but Blue Jays, I would say.
Yeah,
number one.
Nice, very good there. Yeah, it's cool here. I'm loving the city here. It's really nice, super cosmopolitan. It reminds me a lot of New York. It's kind of like New York and Chicago. I'd say it kind of has that vibe if you put those two together here. Is there anything that you've taken away from this conference that you've learned?
So far, it's I see less people actually than I've seen last year. I don't know if it's too large.
I think it's really spread out. We're here in the convention center, which is like the Toronto Heinz Convention Center, I think it's called.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of space.
That's what I see. Last night, my staff went to the opening ceremony, and they say we never saw so many people. There were a lot of people there.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's a pretty standard, convention so far. Nothing too special, and people are nice. I mean, it's a good time to connect with a lot of agents you work with.
Yeah.
So far, so good, I would say.
So what type of meetings are you having here?
It's a lot of business exchange we have, with a lot of. I mean, like I said to my staff, don't think you're going to go out from this place with tons of contract in your pocket.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen like
hey,
this.
You get one or two though, and it's great, right?
Yeah, but I have this convention. We didn't add any contract, but the good things, we meet with staff that come all over the world that we would never meet normally. Mm-hmm. So this is a good time to me to talk about some issue, to talk about. How to exchange more business together. So it's a great thing. I mean, I really love this kind of event.
This is fantastic. Jacques Monnier here from Brighter International Moving. Jacques, you want to leave us maybe with a final thought before we bring David Cox up?
Well, no, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to meet you. Let's have a prayer for what's happening in the Middle East, which is very sad. I think that's the saddest things that happen here right now. But just pray, make a prayer. I think that's going to help for sure. And let's focus on the positive. There's a lot of good things for movers. I mean, there's a big market. There's a lot of things that is going to happen now. A lot of changes, in the economy. Don't be shy. If one company wants to merge with another company and be together and be strong, don't be afraid of these kind of things. This is the future. Everybody at some point need to okay, you are in your corner, you don't have too much. Okay, let's go together. Let's work together.
And you've got a lot of hiring to think about for next year for all these locations.
Yeah.
Jacques, you ever need some GMs or ops managers
You
out there?
send me an email. I
Yeah,
consider
Jacques.
everything.
Here we go. Let's go. Jacques. Here's a card, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the other beautiful thing about the IAM convention. Everybody is handing out cards constantly because everybody can work with everybody else here. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Jacques, always
Yes.
a pleasure.
Oh, pleasure.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Jacques Monnier, Brighter International Moving.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. I'll see you later, Jacques.
Thank you.
See if we can get that out of there for you. Get in the comments, hit that like button. We've got David Cox coming up from JK Moving and Storage. Come on up, David. Don't be shy. There he is, the man. How's it going, David? How you doing? Have a seat. Stand up. Do whatever you feel.
I'm hanging with the most familiar face in relocation.
Familiar.
What could be
familiar.
better?
Not good. There's no good. It's just familiar. It's just out there a lot. There's no qualitative statement there.
Ben, I've been watching
you,
what you've been doing for years. Back to the days when you were at university, I watched this guy doing things others were not doing. And very impressed. Very impressed.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I got to say, JK Moving has some of the best social media out there. The way that y'all showcase your company culture out there. I love watching, Chuck Kuhn out there, doing his, rallies in the morning, getting the guys all revved up and everything. And passing out cash is always fun, so you guys do a really nice job with it too.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up, because one of the things I wanted to mention to you is last Saturday I was in the office and I saw a post from you on LinkedIn that said unpopular opinion. And it was about being there and being present. And that's exactly what's made Chuck the leader that he is he's there and he's engaged and he's visible.
Yeah, and he's watching the trucks roll off the yard. I've seen the videos, and I think that there's a lot to be said about leading from the front, and
That's
just
right.
being present, being visible. I mean, how do you ask your people to show up every day if you're not there?
That's right.
I love it. Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. It did feel a little unpopular, I don't know what y'all's works scheme is, in the office or whatever, but for us, we're establishing a headquarters, and
Right.
and creating a culture of collaboration. And so anyway, I it's just something that's been on my mind a lot lately.
Yeah.
How are y'all looking at that?
Well, it's changed so dramatically with COVID. Everyone was responding to a business environment where you went to remote work because you had to go to remote work. And I think for many, it was remarkably successful.
Yeah.
And so now you've got this transition that's taken place with how you staff, and a lot of it good and some of it not as good. When you're in the moving business, you're supporting people that can't work remote.
Yeah.
And everyone likes to see where the boss is. Everyone likes to have contact with leadership. And that's a challenge with remote workers, is finding out how to connect people.
Yeah, it's true, right? I mean, we are in the relocation industry. We are in the business of getting people to be present so they can work.
That's right.
And I think we have to remember that we have to eat our own dog food every once in a while. We got to show up. We got to relocate our talent as well when they need relocating. It's so funny. We do staffing and talent and recruitment for the global mobility industry, and it's interesting to see the relocation companies who don't relocate their talent, right?
That's
but
right.
The moving companies always do.
Right.
The mover's like, yeah, I'll relocate a coordinator if she's good, right?
That's right.
And so I find it really interesting to see who's out there actually using their own services.
Well said. So, just like everyone else, we've gone through a transition. We have a number of remote workers, but we place tremendous value on having someone that's there and present.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Get in the comments here. We are live on the IAM LinkedIn page. Shout out to super producer Adam for making it happen out there. Hit that like button. We are with David Cox here from JK Moving and Storage. Can we change that subtitle there? There we go. Adam's over here working all the boards, working all the technology. Let's get it here. Chris Benson says, talking about the Ben from the past. Ben, we're missing your hats. Chris, I love you, man. I'm missing my hats too. You think I can still pull off the hats? I don't know. The hats are a
Pull
little.
off the hats.
It's
you can always
extreme.
pull
So
off the hats.
you think so? All right, maybe I'll get a hat. You know what, Chris, you've inspired me. Maybe I'll bring them back. It's funny because I used to wear bow ties a lot.
I remember.
You remember, yeah. Well, then people are like, hey man, where's the bow tie? Hey, where's the bow tie? You know, and so I feel like these things have like a phase. They have like
Sure.
a life cycle, you know, and then you just don't want to always be the bow tie guy. You ever have like a fashion thing that you ever pull off there,
I
David?
think the bow tie, you were working the bow tie, Ben.
I feel, you know what happened? I gained a little weight, David, okay? And then I started looking like the guy that made milkshakes. You know, when I'm wearing the bow tie, you can't really, a big man doesn't pull it off as well as a thin man does. I'll tell you that. This is great. We got David Nathan checking in. He says remote workers are the best. You know, interesting, David. I mean, this is I appreciate you getting out there and putting your opinion out there. You know, I just think something's lost. I think organizations need to develop trust, you know, within their teams in order to be effective and engaged. And you know, I don't know. I wonder if it's our best self being at home.
So here we are at IAM.
Yeah.
And there's record attendance this year.
1,900 plus people here.
Very impressive. And it feels good to get back to the in-person contact.
Shaking hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of giving people the, hey, how's it going?
And I don't disagree with David. I think there's tremendous value in remote workers and there's a place for them. There's also a place for direct personal contact.
Yeah, I would totally agree, right? So we're doing this broadcast right now, and you know, we got, you know, a couple dozen people logged in right now watching us, right? And probably maybe 1,000 people probably view this probably for a couple minutes. But we got 1,900 people that saw fit to fly across the globe to be here present for 5 days in person. This could have been a Zoom call. But how fun would that have been? How impactful would that have been? It would have been like, you know, I don't know, missable, you know. Hey, I want to talk though. I want to change the subjects real quick here and talk. We got David, appreciate you. John checking in. Mark, bow tie Ben. Yes, Mark. Mark used to work with me. Love you, brother. Get in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts here. Hit that like button as well. Krista Moore. Hey, that's the man. Hi, Ben and David.
Krista Moore giving you a shout rock out. Star with JK who transitioned to a sales role. She's doing great.
I saw Krista at the Greater Washington ERC a month or two ago, and great ray of sunshine. I love people like that. Great energy. You know, y'all do a phenomenal job of recruiting and developing talent.
Thank you.
I mean, it's really, really nice job. How do you do it?
Well, Chris is a perfect example of that. She's been with the company for 11 years. She started as a receptionist with the Caprillo division. We quickly recognized the talent there. Receptionist to coordinator, coordinator to supervisor, supervisor to lead, to transitioning to a new business development role. So when you find good people, trying to lock them into the same job, probably not going to be a recipe for success.
It's so true. And I see this at moving companies. And sometimes, I mean, JK's fortunate because you're highly diversified. I want to talk about that a little bit. You have a lot of lines of business. It's a lot going on over there, right? And a lot of growth. But you see a lot of moving companies, they'll lock these coordinators in this role and they'll hope to keep them there for 20 years. But a great person is not going to sit in the same seat for 20 years.
That's right.
You know, it's like you got a career path, people, and it's not easy. But if they can grow, you know, that means the company's growing too.
I would agree with that completely. Relative to diversification, people want diversity.
Yeah.
Look at how much our business has changed within the last 5 years.
I can't even imagine. I mean, how describe some of the ways it's changed, if you don't mind.
Well, take office moving. So office moving, you could pretty much count on, if you go back 10 years, office moving, you could count on people having 5 crates, a computer, a desktop unit. Maybe they're moving their trash can, maybe they're moving a ped. Today, it's purely hardware for the technology, and the size of the moves has gone down dramatically. So it's completely changed.
So how do you find ways to diversify your business and bring on new revenue streams? I mean, where do you see the industry heading?
I see diversification as the most important issue for a moving company to address. If you look at what we've had this year with interest rates going from, 2.9% for a mortgage to in the 7s, It's had a massive impact on consumer moves. And so if you're exclusively in consumer moves, it's a tough year for you.
Oh yeah.
What's happening with the GHC program is going to be a massive opportunity for some and a transition for others. And many are asking, am I diversified enough to have a healthy business going forward? And I think it's absolutely critical on the household side that you have a mix of consumer, national account, and government and DoD. And having office moving, being diversified between office moving and household goods is very important for any moving company, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I want to hear what your thoughts are out there. If you're watching this right now, put in the comments, what are you thinking about diversification? How is your company diversifying itself to meet the needs of your clients in the future? Is that new lines of business? Is that new people that have new skills? I really want to know. I read something somewhere that said, just as an example of a way that the world is changing. This was a couple of years ago, and it said in 10 years, 80% of the jobs that we do are going to be different.
Yeah.
And you think about that rapid pace of change and the fact that, to your point about office moving, the stuff we keep on our desk and in our offices and what an office even looks like has changed radically over the last 10 years, 15 years. The big credenzas and the big, wrap around U-shaped desks and the heavy stuff. And, even the chairs aren't these big leather beasts anymore. They're these like nylon, breathable, ergonomic things. I mean, everything is changing out there.
Everything's changing. And not only, for the movers, not only what we're moving is changing, but how we prepare for those moves is changing as well. If you go back 10 years, whether it was office moving or household goods, you had someone ringing a doorbell to do the surveys. And, And video survey has absolutely eclipsed conventional.
Is it now the #1 mode?
It has been for us since COVID hit.
Wow.
Yeah.
And COVID just made it happen because so many people are looking at this video thing and they're like, or maybe I'll do like manned video surveys, but I don't know about the whole, and we had the guys from Yimbo and yesterday, right? And I don't know about that yet. And then, man, COVID just hit us between the eyes and we had to make radical changes to the way we do business.
I think COVID was a catalyst.
Yeah.
It was on its way that direction with a lot of resistance from the industry, a lot of resistance from conventional.
We're getting dragged along.
Well, what happened with COVID is it was just an accelerator because the COD sales reps used to be able to do 5 to 7 a day.
And that's if they're running.
Exactly. And they learned with video, they can do 30%, 40% more than that, which has been a big deal.
And we can do them remotely.
That's right.
So instead of high cost markets like the Northern Virginia area, you could theoretically sit in, Hattiesburg, Mississippi and bang out, surveys, and estimates.
A lot of people did exactly that.
I do kind of watch what JK is doing in the consumer space.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really interesting. I mean, companies that can compete in that consumer space these days are I marvel at it. It's such a competitive space. And it's kind of the space I came out of early in my career. I worked in a moving call center. And that's kind of, you hear that beep and then you go in your pitch, you got 6 minutes to close them, get that MasterCard or Visa, and it was quite a game. And I just could not wait to get off those phones because it was just beating me up 25 calls a day,
Sure.
To your point, the sheer volume is insane. But you, and we had Ken Cohen on last year as well, right?
We did.
He's kind of the maestro of this stuff,
Yes.
But how has JK managed to compete nationwide in this consumer space in a way that most van lines out there just can't touch?
Sure. Well, I'll quote Ken. He likes to say we're known for ferociously fast follow-up. Those are his three F's.
Shout out to Ken Cohen. Can somebody tag Ken out there in the comments? Ferociously fast follow-up. It's a lot of F's.
That's part of the ticket. What can you do quickly? What can you do immediately? People are reaching out to us from their cell phones today, not from a desktop unit.
Yeah.
It might be while they're driving. So anything that you can do quickly is going to help you win. And of course, follow-up is absolutely critical. You can't set it and forget it. You gotta get back in and work those open opportunities and make sure you're closing business.
It's so true. And I was at a sales conference for a van line a few years ago, and they said that 2/3 of consumers, and I don't know if this is still true, they said 2/3 of consumers go with the first mover they talk to. I don't know if that's true or not. And I'm not suggesting that people have 66% conversion rates on these calls. Maybe they call back or whatever, but there's really something to, I know personally as a consumer, if I'm in the mind frame of solving a problem right now,
yeah,
I want to get it done, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to get it done, get it off my mind, taking my mental bandwidth from me, and go on to the next thing in my life and just be done with it.
Yeah, that's a big part of the reason speed wins. Another way of saying it is simplicity and ease of use wins. And so that's critical to a consumer program success.
Yeah, really amazing. Really cool stuff here. We got people checking in here. This is great. We got, oh, look at this. People checking in from all over the world. Is that Brazil in the house? Fantastic. This is great. We got Poland in the house. Look at this. Oh, look, Krista Moore giving Ken Cohen, where you at? I know your ears are ringing. Thank you, Krista. Appreciate it. Chris Benson over here, defending the remote workers of the world unite here. As always, we love y'all. Love y'all. Chris says, I agree. There's a balance that has to be struck. Being a remote worker, I find I'm able to drive work faster with greater trust when I get out there and connect with my colleagues in person. Yeah. And learning in person without the at-home distractions are good for me too. Interesting. Yeah. Certain times for certain tasks. I like that.
Well said.
I just came up with that.
That's good.
I'm going to use that. I'm going to remember that. I remember I met Chris for the first time at, I think he was at Bristol Myers Squibb back then, managing the relocation department, Global Mobility Center of Excellence, I think it was. But I met him in person at a Worldwide ERC event, and just connected with him and just formed that bond.
Awesome.
You know, and you know that bond. I mean, I'm sure you have with so many people in this room. How many IAM conferences have you gone to?
You know, I've been in the industry for about 30 years. I was not an IAM attendee until I started at JK, and I think this is my fourth or fifth.
What can you describe for people out there who have never been to an IAM conference? Because there's a lot of folks in the general relocation industry or the global mobility industry out there that watch the show. What's the vibe like?
It's almost like a reunion vibe. And, you know, every year the same people come. I ran into Albert Lopez, who I've known for 20 plus years. I watched Phil Wells yesterday evening connecting with Jeff Watson of Dory Bonner, who he's known for 20 plus years. They talk about the Christmas ornaments that they exchange with their kids. And so it's an environment where relationships really drive business, and it's pretty powerful to see the connections that are here.
Well, and you think about it, right? I mean, it's necessary, because if you send a shipment of household goods, you send a sea container around the world, or even a truck across the country, and you need a destination agent to receive the entirety of someone's personal property,
right, and
shepherd it into the home without any damage, because you're on the hook for it.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot of trust.
That's it.
You got $100,000 of household goods coming at you hot. And I need you not to drop anything, put it together, and make sure there's a smile on the customer's face at the end. That's a lot of trust.
You put your trust in companies. More importantly, you put your trust in the people at those companies. When they make a commitment, generally, they're going to keep that commitment, and that's what keeps you coming back to them for more business.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. David, you want to leave us with a final thought here? We're going to keep this going. We're at a 2-hour Love and Relo, almost like a marathon. My feet are killing me already. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We got Sue from National coming up next. But David, you want to leave us maybe with a final thought?
Yeah, closing thought. Ben, Love and Relo is one of the greatest venues for getting the word out and learning and connecting with people that I've found in the last 10 years. And I just want to say thank you for what you're doing for the industry.
Well, that means a lot. Thank you so much, David, for saying that.
Appreciate your
kind
time.
Words.
Thanks
for being here. David Cox, everybody from JK Moving here. Fantastic. Get in the comments. Hit that like button. Yeah, this is awesome. I want to hear from you. Get out there. Look at this, Sue. How you doing? Stu Stazuski here from National Van Lines International. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So good to see you.
You too.
Got to hang out last night.
We did.
It's fantastic. How's your day going?
Oh my gosh, it's so busy.
Yeah?
With,
You
let's
running
see,
around like a
breakfast.
crazy person?
I
What's
am,
going
back
on?
and forth, up and down escalators, but it's
What is
invigorating.
what is your day like at the IAM conference? I want to know, what's a day in the shoes of Sue like?
Let's see. So we started with the breakfast this morning, the membership
Okay.
breakfast, right?
Yep.
And we're big supporters of the LNF Wohlstetter Scholarship Fund.
Yes, great,
So
great
we did
charity
a
fund.
big check presentation on the stage. So that was pretty
Nice.
cool.
Nice. Well, thank you
Yeah.
for that support
Oh.
too.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Appreciate that. And but
Yeah.
real quick plug before you go on here with your morning. Real quick plug for those of you who don't know the Alan F. Wohlstetter Scholarship. The acronym, we got to do something about that. It's like the days of Hugfa. We got to do something
Yeah.
about the acronym, okay, people? But yes, the Alan Wohlstetter Fund Scholarship Fund is amazing. They've changed it this year so that now, actually last year technically, so that now you can use it towards $500 credits towards certifications as well.
That's right.
So if you want to get a professional certification from IAM, they've got some great training stuff going on now, or even from another association like Worldwide ERC, you can actually do that through this scholarship fund. So love that.
Yeah, it's great benefit for our members.
Yeah.
Before we go on too much further, I did want to say a shout out to Chuck White on his retirement.
Oh, Chuck, we
Congratulations.
love you, Chuck.
I mean, really great guy. He's done a lot for all of our members. So congrats to him on his retirement.
I love it. Somebody tag Chuck White in the comments out there. We love Chuck. Love you so much, Chuck. I'm so sad.
Are you sad?
I am sad. I mean, I love Brian too. I mean, Brian's a dear
yeah,
friend, and Brian's going to be phenomenal, but you just get attached.
you do.
You get so attached. Well, I mean, I felt the same way when Terry left, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I love Chuck.
Right. We love Chuck. He handed the torch over to Brian.
Was it emotional?
It was a little emotional. We all got a little emotional, gave him a little standing ovation. It was a really nice little morning meeting, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Brian's great. Brian's
great.
I worked with him for a long time through the scholarship fund and on several different committees, task forces, and
Brian is fantastic. Brian Liparopoulos, the incoming president at IAM, his vision is very vibrant, and I know it's going to drive the association forward tremendously. Do you have any Chuck stories? Anything that memorable about Chuck?
Well, I'll tell you something. Chuck is now on the Sustainability Coalition, right? With one of my good friends from grade school and high school.
Oh, really?
And I got a picture from both of them at an event they were at, and I don't know how they connected it, but they're like, "Look who I'm with! Look who I'm with!" I'm like, "Oh my God, that's my friend!" I know.
From grade school,
From
and you
grade
get like a
school.
random selfie from an event.
Yeah.
What
so
event
cool.
were they at?
I don't know, maybe the ERC. I can't remember. It
ERC.
was a while ago,
Yeah.
maybe last year,
I love
right
that.
after the coalition was formed. So do you
I
want to
love
talk about that?
Yes, we will talk about that. I love sending selfies to people like after midnight, like, hey, what's going on? Love that. I love that. Chuck's one of my favorite people to send selfies to. I'll probably send them some tonight. Let's talk about the coalition. What's the coalition about?
Oh, I can't really talk about that.
Oh,
That's
we're
not
gonna
my
talk
thing,
about
but I
that.
will say that that's part of the future of what we need to focus on as an industry. We really need to get our young people involved. I was at their session yesterday, and they really, really need more support from our young people in the industry.
And the coalition is really cool because it is a lot of different associations coming together. So it's Worldwide ERC, it's EURA, it's the Corporate Housing Professionals Association, it is IAM, obviously. All these phenomenal associations coming together to work on sustainability collectively, understanding that we're not just operating in a silo, but we're one interconnected ecosystem, both as an industry and also as a world, obviously, right?
Right.
So, definitely shout out to IAM, who's leading on that as well. Look, we got Jana Chazanowski in the house here. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So tell me, I want to know your story, Sue, because we connected last night a little bit, and I'm really fascinated. I want to know how Sue became the president of International and National Van Lines. How'd you get started?
So I was on a random interview 35 years ago with a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And we each went to a different company that they set us up with through Personnel Pool back in the day.
Okay, so there's like a temp staffing kind of company.
Yeah, so I went to National Forwarding Company for my interview, and
Yeah.
she went to a different company. And I had an interview with Pat Johnson. Do you remember Pat Johnson?
Yeah, Pat, great guy.
He interviewed me, and we were talking a little bit, and the light flickered in the room, and I said, Pat, it's a sign from God. You have to hire me.
You're invoking God here and saying, you got to hire me.
And I was taking a total chance that he would understand. And he was like, I love it. Yeah, yeah. And so by the time I drove back home, I had a phone call message, because we didn't have cell phones, right?
Yeah.
That I was hired. And so I was hired for domestic dispatch. I worked with Eileen Sherman.
Eileen, the Queen Sherman out there.
Right?
Yep.
She was my first boss at
Domestic Dispatch.
Domestic Dispatch. It was just she and I in that department. Then after a couple of years, I transferred up to the billing department at National Forwarding Company. Yep. And was the office manager for a while. And then like about 1999, I want to say, the manager of the international division was leaving the company. And Pat said to me, what do you think, Sue? What do you think? Can you do it? I'm like, sure. So I moved over to international from domestic. And what a great move. I mean, I love being in the international.
What's your favorite thing about working on the international side of the business?
Like dreaming about going to all of the places that we do business with, right?
Yes, sending shipments and like just dreaming about what it looks like. You ever like pull it up on Google Maps?
Absolutely. We have to know. Well, we have to know the customs regulations, right? We have to know what to tell our customers. So we've got to know. Another great resource, though, is the IAM directory. Agent directory. So we'll go to those partners, and that's our first choice.
You know, I want to ask you, because you manage a partner network around the world and all these far-flung, amazing locations. You know, what makes a good partner to you, Sue?
Well, someone that we can meet with, talk with, have a common, understanding of what the shipper needs. Get good customer service at great rates, obviously. But that's the value of coming to this conference, is that we can meet everyone in person, eye to eye, sit down, work out the problems, work out the, send us more shipments, or you're doing a great job for us. Those kind of conversations. That's what we need to have while we're here.
Hey, Adam, can we change the banner? Super producer Adam, everybody. There we go. Sorry, you're not David Cox. You're Sue. We got to stay on top of these things here. We got to stay on top. We got so many people stopping by the booth right now, want to know what's going on here. As we're live here at the IAM 360, right here in the middle of the trade show floor here. It's fantastic. And then we're getting people heckling us. Very mature, Janet Turner. Very mature. Love you, Janet. Anyway, fun. But I really admire when I look at National as an organization, the tenure that you have in leadership, the way that everyone has been promoted from within. I'm very good friends with Tim Hellenthal and Michael Wilson, and and I've admired Eileen and Cheryl, and like so many people from the organization, and they're all just promoted from within.
Right. I think Tim was in claims.
I think he was a claims person.
Yeah. And I was up in the billing department. We worked really well together through the whole TQAP process.
What? TQAP?
Yeah, the Total Quality Assurance Program through the military.
The TQAP, it just rolls off the tongue, these acronyms.
Right. But that was, what we worked on to make sure we got the best scores, and so we can get the most business and all of that through the years. I mean, I think we've worked together for 20 plus years. And now I report to Tim.
Yeah. I want to ask you, I also look at National. I look at some phenomenal female leadership at National. It's something that I think last year we started here at the association, some initiatives to bring more diversity into leadership. And I think it's the Leadership Alliance, I believe is the name of it. And what do you think is the key to kind of creating opportunities for female leaders in our industry? What advice maybe would you give to companies out there, myself, anyone looking to do that?
I mean, females or males. I mean, I think if you're committed, if you are conscientious, if you work hard, I mean, these are things that we look for to promote our own people. Just put yourself out there, ask questions, find a mentor. I can say.
Yeah. Did you have a mentor that was key for you along the way?
I would say between Maureen Beal and
Yeah.
Eileen Sherman, I mean, two strong female
Yeah.
leaders, great mentors. for
Maureen
me.
Beal was phenomenal. I remember at another association's under 40 group, she came and spoke to us, and it was so cool. This had to be, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, maybe now. But just so much grace and so much experience and just so much, just great energy from her. What was it like working with Maureen?
Oh, she's very sweet. She would just pop in at random times and sit down and talk, and really wanted to know about your family and what was going on in your life and what was going on in international, because actually she worked in international in that division back maybe in the early 90s before I was in charge of it. And so we compared notes sometimes and how things had changed through the years. Yeah, really great.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
We got people checking in. Hit that like button. Get in the comments. I want to hear from you. We got the Netherlands checking in. Hugo, what's up, Hugo? Fantastic. We got Lynn checking in here from the Bay Area. I saw Lynn last week. Thanks for bringing IAM to those who didn't attend this year. You're welcome. We had 1,900 attendees.
Oh, wow, that's almost a record, I want to say.
It's I think the most they've had in 10 years since maybe since DC.
Oh, wow. That was maybe the 50th anniversary, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 1,900 people, and to do 1,900 people in Canada where there were concerns about visas and obviously us Americans don't have our passports together like we're supposed to or whatever. I mean, to do 1,900 people outside the country, I'm just blown away. This is the biggest conference in the relocation, global mobility ecosystem, the IAM conference. And yet I still feel like it's like a best kept secret kind of thing for a lot of people.
You think so?
Yeah. What advice would you give to people if they're considering coming to the IAM conference?
There is nowhere else you can come and meet with so many people from so many different countries and, make connections and create partnerships and trade business. I mean, this is the place to be.
Yeah, honestly. It really is. And when there's so much change happening in our industry, from acquisitions that are happening and to now with the GHC and everything happening, what are you seeing right now in the marketplace?
Well, we're seeing that we need to be mindful that the landscape has changed a little bit. We need to be willing to allow people to have a little bit of flexibility in their schedules. We need to think about hybrid workforces. We got to roll with the changes. That's what we always do.
Yeah.
We got to focus on the current program, keep an eye on the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like the current program may be continuing for longer than originally forecasted.
Maybe. Yeah, we've heard that.
I mean, it was supposed to roll out October?
September 1st of this year, yes.
So it's already past due, if you will, this GHC thing.
Right. So we might get an update in December. By December, we should hear something more.
You think we're getting another peak season out of this current program?
I think 24 or 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. Possibly 24.
Yeah.
For international. I think domestic, maybe end of 23.
Domestic end of 23.
That's my opinion. Don't hold me to that.
Oh, we're not. Nobody's watching.
Okay.
Alfie, wish I was there. Thank you for the live event. Yes, Alfie. Awesome. Nama, thank you for keeping us honest here with the nameplate. Yes, we know. Thank you so much. What have you maybe learned or taken away from this conference, Sue?
Well, we're just at the beginning. So, yeah, we're still learning about the power of trust and learning all about the different things that the association is doing for our membership. But one thing I wanted to say and give a little shout out to the claims committee, which I'm the chair of the claims committee.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
And so we're going to have a panel tomorrow, the claims panel. I want to make sure everybody here knows and show up at 2 p.m. and learn all about what's happening in the current program, as well as maybe some talk about GHC and how claims will be handled under that new program.
Now, you tell me, you start talking about claims panel and I start looking for a cocktail. Okay. So why do people need to carve out time to go to the claims session?
Because they need to hear what is going on from our military partners, our MCOs. We'll have a home safe partner on board. We'll also have an industry expert there, and we'll just hash out the issues of the current program and how we'll move forward during GHC.
What's one thing people need to know about claims right now? Any changes? Anything coming up?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I should go to the panel. Probably.
I think we need to go to the panel.
I think we need to go to the panel.
I can't give away all the secrets.
Can't give away all the
Are
secrets.
you kidding me?
I've got to buy a registration. You can't just pop on and hear Sue tell you everything that's on the claims panel. You can't get the Cliff's notes of all the sessions and everything here.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. You having fun out here in Toronto?
Oh yeah, we're having a blast.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was
me
pretty
too.
freaked out about talking here with you.
You
but
were?
I was.
Nah, it's easy, right?
Yeah.
Hit that like button. Give Sue some support out here in Toronto. Very fun.
You can visit our booth too.
What booth are you
1301.
at there?
We're at 1301. We're
1301.
sponsor this year. I mean,
You guys got
We
any
love-
furniture over there? I can take a load off, maybe sit down on a chair.
we have
or
some really comfy furniture.
You always do have the best furniture. I don't know whose shipment y'all took it from, but you always have the
no,
nicest.
I order that.
Oh, you ordered?
I order that every single time. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I
it's
really
good.
love it.
It's good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. People are just popping into the studio here. The energy's nice here. It's really good.
It is. This is a cool location. You're right in the middle.
Yeah, it's
Great.
really nice. You get to see everything. You get natural light here coming in as well.
That's pretty. It's a great
Fantastic.
venue.
Yeah, you got any parties or anything that you've enjoyed particularly over the last 24 hours?
Oh, I went to the DAB after party.
Tell people about the DAB. What is the DAB?
Oh, that's the Domestic Asset-Based Movers group. It's a group of companies that have trucks.
As they like to say, the ones that do the real work. I didn't say it. They said it. Okay. But yes, the people with the trucks, the domestic asset-based moving companies, they always know how to throw a party and have a good time.
Oh, great party.
Did you
Great party.
participate in the rock, paper, scissor championship?
I did not, but I did play a little air hockey. I'm not going to lie. That used to be a favorite when my
Yep.
son was young. Yeah.
How did you do in air hockey last night?
I never win. I just play for the fun of it.
What's your technique? Are you off the side or are you straight on?
I do like to go straight on.
You're
Yeah.
straight on. Just
Straight
pop
on.
right into
Yeah. Doesn't work out for me so much. So,
you know, I think you gotta set it up. It's like a boxing match, right?
yeah.
You jab, and then you hit them with that hook or that straight, right? So you got to go off the side, go off the side, go
Yeah.
off the side, get them looking side, and then you sneak one in.
All right. Next time I will employ that technique. Yep. Next time.
You know, all the things you learn at the IAM conference.
Yeah. That
really
was one of those key things.
stuff that doesn't even make it in the program. You know, honestly.
Well, that's why you have to be here so you can experience it in person, right?
Yep, exactly.
If you can be, right?
How many folks did y'all bring from national?
I think we have about 10 with us.
Wow.
It's split
10.
between domestic and international. So yeah.
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 Now on the international side, is your business? I know obviously, you know, y'all do a fair amount of military work,
We do.
but do you do corporate and consumer
We
work as
do.
well?
Do.
Really?
We do a lot of work with GSA and the State Department. So that's one part of it.
okay.
And then we also do a good portion of commercial COD business and some national account business as well. Those are the bigger parts of our business. Obviously, military is the biggest part, but GSA and State Department is pretty close second for
Do you
us.
see that business growing over the next few years? The changes maybe with the GHC?
You mean GSA business? Or
Yeah, GSA and maybe even some of the corporate business and other things that you do.
Well, I know that we'll do whatever we can to drive more business to those other segments because diversification is going to really be key going forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what it's all about here.
Yep.
Sue Stazuski here from National Van Lines
Good job with
International.
my name, really.
I'm trying. I'm really trying. There's a lot of consonants. It's been a long night, a lot of consonants.
Yeah.
But do you want to leave us with a final thought before we bring on Barry Brown here?
No, just everyone come to the claims committee meeting. I got to say that tomorrow
Kept secret at the
Yeah, right.
conference. Claims
and
committee.
visit us at booth 1301. And we have our gum back this year by popular demand.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can use some
So-
of that. This is great. Sue,
Yeah.
always a pleasure seeing
Oh,
you.
Pleasure.
Sounds good here. Very good. Thank you so much for Sue. We've got Barry Brown coming on here. Get in the comments here. Want to know what you're thinking. ask questions, leave it here. Barry, good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Barry
man.
Brown from Smart Moving Software. How's it going?
We're good.
Good.
Things are great.
Hey, step on up there.
Can't complain.
Dallas, Texas, I see on the badge there, huh?
Yeah.
Very good, man.
I'm actually in Denver, but we're based out of Dallas.
Oh, man, you ruined my day. Barry. Well, we're in
Can't
Dallas.
complain.
We're headquartered in Dallas. You get down there often?
I do. Yeah. Dallas is a
Cool.
great town.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Tell us about Smart Moving Software.
Yeah.
Barry.
So we are a CRM based software for moving companies, and I've been in the market for a little over 5 years now, and actively just working with moving companies on, the struggles day to day, what it's like to be a moving company and all of the different things that you have to do to manage your business and run a business. And anymore, if you're not connected digitally, whether that's, to the consumers at the end of the day, all the way through the moving process and your accounting process, it's really hard. And so, moving off of a manual platform into something that's more automated is so key.
What prompted you guys to get into the moving space, right? It's always funny to me, right? Because you come to these conferences and all these movers are complaining about how tough the moving industry is and everything. And then you got really smart guys like y'all, right? Coming in here like, hey, this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
And the rest of us are hating our life. So how did you come to get into the moving business?
Great question. So our founder, Toby, and our co-founder, Matt, had come from another kind of tech startup, big developers, big on the engineering side. And good friend of Toby's that he had met was in the moving business. And so that friend of his was saying, hey, I'm looking for software. Can you help me? And Toby's like, there's got to be people out there in the marketplace. And he's like, no, there just isn't.
Really?
So Toby started looking around and was like, there just isn't anything out there. And so spent a year just kind of talking to him and said, hey, I bet I can build something that would work for you. And spend another year, 2 years just at conferences and talking to moving people and going, hey, what do you struggle with? What, if there was a software that was out there, what would you want it to do for you? And after a couple of years, formed Smart Moving and said, hey, there's definitely a need for this. There just is there. It's an industry that from the outside, from a consumer looking in, and somebody who's looking to move, it seems so simple, but it's really, really complex. And there's so many moving parts and pieces and things that you just sit there and go, okay, hey, whether it's taking inventory and bingo sheets and inventory lists and all of this stuff, it still was so manual. I was like, we got to figure out a way to digitize this stuff and speed things up.
Yeah, and picked a great time to do it too, because now with the requirement for digital inventories for, the largest customers in the world, including the U.S. military and other corporations now, I mean, what a great time to get in the business of digitizing these documents.
Yeah. And, you see so many people struggling because requirements change overnight. And so it's like, oh my gosh, we've got a document that now is no longer legit that we needed to switch out. And, from a digital world, if you don't have the digital document and easy to switch, it's like, oh my gosh, throw out all the manual stuff and restart, and so the day and age of just how quick things change and from a requirement standpoint and what one city or municipality or one country requires you to do, or the military changes things up overnight. You're like, I have to be able to adapt quick.
So how many countries have you kind of loaded into your system and can you support?
We're primarily US and Canada today. And part of that is from an international standpoint, we're still looking at how do we build our software to help more than we are today from an international standpoint. So,
well, there's a lot of business in the US and Canada. I mean, probably the biggest markets, in the world, right? So there's a lot here. Now, do you see most of your client base being, local movers or van line agents or independent national van lines? How do you, what do you see?
Yeah, good question. So a good vast majority of our customers are local and long distance. And then we've partnered with a bunch of the different van lines to pull their tariffs and their ratings into Smart Moving software as well too. And so that's an area where we see a lot of like expansion for us is with the van line agents and things that are complex, because most of those van line companies, their software has kind of run its course until
Sure.
you
I
find.
worked for one
Yeah.
for a long time, you know, and the software you get kind of off the shelf is it's a challenge,
It
you know,
is.
and sometimes it can even get in between you and booking shipments, you
For
know,
sure.
which
And
always sucks. You know, you want software to enable you. You don't want to hold you back,
yeah,
right?
and you think like a lot of those companies, they built that over time, going, hey, we need our own software, and now that things move so fast and the consumer demand. I mean, at the end of the day, right? Everybody wants everything that they can have right here in their palm
Right
of
here on their
hand.
phone. By the way, if you're watching this on your phone, hit that like button, get in the comments. I want to know your questions for Barry about software and technology, or just tell us what we need to go do in Toronto tonight. Okay. Cut to the chase. Let's get to the party already. Okay.
That's
Throw
right.
that in the comments as well. This is great here. Paul says, you're in my hometown. Go to the Loose Moose Bar and the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Loose Boost Bars across the street.
The Loose Boost?
Yeah, it's right
A
over
Moose
here.
Boosh?
Loose Moose is across the street.
That's like a
I
tongue
heard it's
twister.
a
Shouldn't
great,
even be.
exactly.
The Loose Moose is across the street, running loose.
It's a good spot.
It is a good
I hear.
spot. We should go there now. Can we just
Exactly.
wrap this
Let's
thing
just
up?
go.
Go there now. Just eat
Go
some
get a-
wings and drink some beers.
Get a
and
bear and
I heard the Leafs might even be playing tonight.
yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. Somebody validate whether the Leafs are playing tonight. That'd be awesome.
They are preseason, correct?
Preseason.
Regular
I
season
can afford
hasn't
tickets to
started
that. Gideon saying thank you for sharing this great meeting with us. You're welcome, Gideon. Get in the comments. Support us out here. Let us know you're out there. Hit that like button. You know, I love talking to people who come from outside the industry.
Yeah.
I was kind of an outsider for a long time in this industry, and it's tough being an outsider. I got laughed at a lot, even at this conference. Never mind Chuck. He laughed at me. He's like, no, I love you. I'm like, I love you too, Chuck. You still laughed at me. No, but I know what it's like to be an outsider, but I also know the quality and the diversity of thought and ideas that comes from outsiders can be just what we need.
Yeah.
You know, and so first I want to ask you, as an outsider looking in who thought, oh, this is pretty straightforward, right? A guy, a box, a truck. What's so hard, right? What was maybe one of the biggest surprises about the moving industry for you?
You know, like for me, kind of just the aha moment is there's a lot of moving companies out there. And so as you struggle to find business and you land somebody, how quickly you can get yourself sideways.
What do you mean get yourself sideways?
From whether that's from pricing a job out, right? And understanding like, how do I make money in this
company
industry?
underpricing the job?
Yeah.
And,
Or even,
losing
yeah.
a deal or
Yeah,
whatever.
losing a deal to somebody else and you go, okay, it's complex.
Yeah.
There's so many moving parts and
What a
pieces behind the
great-
scenes.
What a great point. So you're
Right?
thinking like really from a consumer space where every move is competitive and you have to price it high enough that you make money, but low enough that you don't lose the business.
100%. And so you sit there and you go, what, and you know, what makes you different from a moving company to moving company? Because a truck's a truck. Like a truck is
I
a,
think
hey, we have great trucks.
consumers.
Right?
That's
Exactly.
what consumers think. A truck's a truck. Now we did talk to Jacques Monnier from Brighter, who will use trailers instead of trucks and use
for sure.
pickups. And I mean, so there are some different mechanisms, but largely we're running 26-foot box trucks out there, people,
That's
right?
right.
So there's a lot of sameness in the consumer's mind. So how do you differentiate your business, and how does software really support that?
Yeah. So I've seen from my standpoint, I think you've seen the industry become that much more professional, right? Like and you see this with a lot of the service companies is what's the brand that I'm building that I want to bring across to the consumer that gets them to say, hey, you know what, I want to go with ABC moving versus XYZ moving because of these things. And so software, what that does at the end of the day is it just helps you be and look that much more professional and present yourself in a professional manner that you might not have thought about in the past. And everything from, hey, what does my website look like and how easy is it for people to engage with me and actually get a quote, to what does that quote look like?
What does it actually
right?
look like? That was a major beef that I had, right? So you touched a nerve here, okay?
Yeah.
I would just get so upset sometimes with how ugly this quote was and how much fine print there was and how everything was broken and all these surcharges and all these fees and all this stuff, frankly, that I felt was undermining the trust that I built with the customer.
Yeah. But and I think you have different moving companies have different philosophies on the pricing, everything from flat rate to, to very complex pricing models. And so the ability to be able to handle that in any circumstance and present yourself professionally. Like, we still hear so many people when they come to us say, hey, I want to have a more professional look and feel. So
Yeah.
I want the ability to text a quote to somebody,
Yes.
them to see it on their phone,
Yes.
the ability to email it to them, the ability to get to people right away when they hit my website. I want a nice quote form there so that they can fill out information and I can get to them right away, because that helps me maybe beat some of the other competition to the job. And with the pie shrinking, right? From an economic standpoint, if the pie is shrinking, I've got to be that much more competitive in the space. And so the ability to meet the consumer where they are, right? Like, they want it on their phone, they want it today, they want to know what the quote is, and they want to be able to book right then and there direct.
Can I tell you another beef I had, Barry? Okay, I'm venting right now, Barry. All right, this is hour number 2 here. Okay, the wheels have fallen off the bus. It's going down the ravine. The other beef I had, Barry, I just left saying your name, I don't know why, was that I needed to get a credit card authorization form filled out. I'm like, my boss, are you trying to get me to lose all the deals? Like, all of them, every single deal?
Yeah.
You know?
Good luck getting this thing filled out.
I need to email you. You need to print this out. You need to sign, put your credit card information there. You need to scan it back in, email it back to me, all before we can show up to your home.
That's right.
Sheesh.
Like the digitization of everything has been tremendous.
So what are we doing around payments to make that easier?
Yeah, so we have integrated payments directly into our platform. So we work with a company called Remedy Payments. They work exclusively.
I know Remedy out of the West Coast.
That's right.
Yeah, those guys are great.
They're great, and their software integrates directly into Smart Moving, so you can take a deposit payment up front. They can pay through on site with the Crew mobile app. It all integrates in with QuickBooks. So as a mover, you're not sitting there going, oh my gosh, I'm going to spend my life reconciling payments back and forth. I got a check over here. I got some cash over here. Yeah. I'm working, I took a credit card through my local bank. And so I got to reconcile it. So it's all seamless to the consumer at the end of the day.
This is great. Get in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. Hit that like button. We've got Tanzania in the house.
Oh, hey. All
Love
right.
Tanzania.
Holy cow.
Fantastic. We got some amazing Tanzanian folks here as well. I got some like hand carved keychains and stuff like that. One's a Maasai.
You asked about like things that were like the crazy aha moments.
Yeah.
Just the sheer, like, you think of being here at IAM, just everybody moves. And so every city, every state, every country has massive amount of movers. Yeah. And what I think is great is everybody, for the most part, is out to help each other.
Yes.
So those relationships that they've formed in, they're competitors, but at the end of the day, they're all in it to win, and they want to help each other win.
Especially the IAM conference. I've been to other moving conferences, but the IAM conference, the nature of military moving, the nature of international moving is such that there is a network of origin and destination agents.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're the OA, sometimes you're the DA, sometimes you're the transportation partner connecting, or the software partner connecting them together, right? But it's like we're all in this ecosystem, sending each other stuff, working 100%. Together. So I don't know if you've experienced this, but at a cocktail party, people just come up to you. They may not even speak English, and they come up to you with a card, give you the card, and it's just very much like cards everywhere, networking everywhere, all the different permutations of connections that you can make. I love it. It's such an energizing feeling.
Very personable, and again, everybody's in it for the best interest, which is how do we succeed, as an industry.
Love it. Get in the comments. I want to hear what you think. We've got another 45 minutes here. Woo!
Let's go.
Man, the moose is loose, baby. It's calling me. Travis Washer. What's up, Trav? Love Travis. Worked with Travis at 3 different companies.
No kidding.
Can't get rid of him.
He's in it to win it.
Love Travis. Travis says it's crazy how many companies do not use a CRM to connect all facets of the business. What I've experienced is a quote done on paper that's taken to the coordinator, who inputs it into a green screen platform Then operations gets a manila folder from the coordinator to put it on the schedule in Excel. Then the folder goes to revenue processing.
Yep.
Thoughts?
Um,
Travis, excellent share, by the way.
I will say, I think technology is always a crazy term. And so there's generational moving companies that they got a standard operating procedures that works well. And a lot of times that may be a manual system that over years and years and years and years works. But not having technology and the manual we still find so many people who start with us as, hey, we're all manual. And I'm like, we're really still manual. Yeah. Checks and cash. And I say, okay, the younger generation, when you tell them you take checks and cash, do they ask the question, what's a check?
I don't have any checks. I'm a business owner. I'm a CEO, and I don't have a check.
Right. And so we're starting to see that transition more and more of, hey, we have to get out of the manual process. We have to change the way that we're doing things operationally. And some of that's just from a staffing perspective, and how do you maximize your staff, and how do you maximize all of the hands that you have hired, and make sure that you're doing things. But more and more, it's the consumer demanding change from the start of the process. Hey, if I don't know what a check is, I'm probably moving down the street to somebody else.
Yeah, if I don't have a check, I'm just not going to do business with you.
That's right. If I can't get a quote electronically, and it's going to take 2 weeks for you to come out to my house, do inventory with me room by room, and then it's going to take you a couple days to get me a quote, or you're going to go sit in your truck for a couple hours and handwrite a quote. I want something that's more professional looking. I want something that's quick and easy for me to understand, especially in the day and age of, maybe there's things that I don't know about the moving industry. And so it's scary as a consumer. So, hey, how quick can you just tell me what's a range? Because I don't know of what it's going to cost for me
range,
to move
like,
across
just give me
town.
a ballpark.
Just give me a ballpark.
Ballpark me. Like, hey, this is what I
That's
got.
right.
Ballpark me. Gotta go.
How many boxes you
Gotta
think?
go. I'm home on my lunch break. I gotta go. I gotta zoom in 15 minutes. Just ballpark me.
Totally. So or they don't want you in your house anymore.
Yeah.
They want to do things virtually and walk and go room by room. And so I think, there are still so many that are doing things manually, but more and more and more of those companies are looking to figure out how they do things. The other thing is you find companies that are using multiple technologies. So there's a lot of redundancy.
Well, and that's kind of what Travis is talking about, right? He's got, they have technology. It's just trash.
That's right.
And none of it talks to each other.
That's right.
And so the integration of systems, I think, is key. I mean, do you run into that when you implement with a client, they're running other systems and does yours talk to other things? I mean, how do you interconnect these things?
Yeah, so we do have some what we call native integrations into some platforms that are pretty popular. Like I mentioned, the Remedy from a payment standpoint. Yeah. We have a integration into QuickBooks from a financial standpoint.
QuickBooks.
Right.
What percentage of movers out there that you encounter are running on QuickBooks?
You know what? The majority of them are.
Right.
Yeah.
I run on QuickBooks.
It does. I mean, it's simple, it's easy, and it's, people know it, right? And from an accountant perspective, if you're using some outside accountant, normally they're going to tell you like, hey, let's get everything migrated over to QuickBooks. It just makes sense.
For sure.
And we do some stuff on the front end with lead providers and things like that. So you can track all the leads that are coming in. And are we making money? Or are we losing money on the leads that we're buying?
Yeah, that's critical because those leads are so expensive right now. And I haven't bought consumer moving leads for 3 or 4 years, but I remember throughout my lifetime, they always seem to be going up in price.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still are or not.
Yeah.
But I mean, that escalating cost of acquisition, to me, I just marvel at people who are able to actually effectively do COD consumer business because of the escalating cost of customer acquisition.
You want to know at the end of the day, what's my ROI on those leads that I'm buying?
Yeah.
And if it's not positive, then let's stop buying those leads. Go spend that money elsewhere.
We got a question coming in here from Denmark.
All right.
The Danes, you ready?
Let's go.
All right, it's curveball. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Jacob from Copenhagen says, hello, I'm inquiring if you've had any conversations or hands-on involvement with AI software. I'm interested in your insights regarding the use of ChatGPT in sales and marketing. Incorporating tech in our field may facilitate the recruitment of a more diverse set of perspectives, maybe prospects too.
So
What are your thoughts about AI,
like-
ChatGPT?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we actually hear and what we see with some of our customers is they're actually using ChatGPT to create a lot of their communications, whether that's the email communications and the templates that they're using to send to the customers, or whether it's texting. You know, what's interesting is with this new kind of 10 DLC texting things and the changes in terms of like the cost to text, everybody's going, how do I do shorter texts? And so people are turning to things like
I'm sorry, there's
ChatGPT.
a cost of text.
Oh, for sure. Like there's a like
Really?
in terms of a lot of the texting companies, they changed from a per text fee to a per segment fee, which is, and things like emojis and other characters that are hard to interpret cost more. So like a segment may be 3 or 4 times more expensive than it ever was in the past because of some of the different things that the texting companies are doing. And part of that's just regulations and new things that are coming up. But and I think also the changing consumer behavior is, if I send you a text with war and peace, you're probably not going to read it. But if I'm concise and condensed on what I'm trying to do, so people are using ChatGPT to help them create more effective communications internally and externally. I think from an AI perspective, there's some guys and other groups here that are doing things really well in terms of like virtual surveys and pulling AI components into that for sure as well too. You know, as we're a software company, we look at things that we can do better. We will integrate and migrate towards things that make sense from an AI perspective as well. You can't get away from it.
Yeah. What are the features that you're hearing most? You know, it's so funny. I'm sure you get customers, hey, it'd be cool if it did this. Like, and that's how the conversation always starts. Hey, you know, it'd be really cool if when I did this, it did that.
Yeah.
You know, I used to make those calls all the time and just bother the hell out of like developers and software owners. And the same guy that was like, we can do whatever you want it to do. And then like, okay, we'll see. We'll see. Because I want to go have a Notion at the IAM conference, come back with a laundry list of stuff I need. And they're all top priority. Good luck. Go.
Yeah.
What are the most in demand kind of features, or kind of hottest kind of new features that you're hearing about?
You know, anything that's tied to inventory, descriptive inventory, virtual inventory, anything that can help a moving company get a better understanding of what it is that they're moving and how best then that they can organize and get ready for that. And so that's a huge one in terms of from the moving companies specifically. That's huge out there for sure.
Yeah. The inventory's been real hot lately.
And then anything digital documents. And part of that's just because as things change and move, it's how do we migrate more to digital documents that are compliant with what we have going on based on state regulations. So how quick and easy is it for me to change stuff and migrate to digital capture on everything that we possibly can? And then from a maps perspective, and you know, how do I know where my guys are? How do I know what they're doing, where they are in the progress of the move? And I think that's part of where you'll start to see AI come into play, is from the operational side. How do I maximize and make sure that I've got the right size crew, I'm paying the right amount of money to my crew, they're active and they're doing what they need to do based upon a timeline that's been really well laid out for them.
Love to see AI start, you know, generating quotes based off like the address and be like, okay, this house is about this many square feet.
Right?
You know, that on average is about this many pounds, this much time. Ballpark you, here you go, right?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's great about our software is we have that built into our software from a pricing standpoint. So it's super simple to say, hey, it's a 3-bedroom house. Here's all of the handicaps in terms of stairs, location, parkway, parking, things like that. And here's a price within a matter of seconds for you.
Love it. We got one last comment here before we bring on Sahil here from Red Sky. But Travis says a lot of it is mindset. Just because something worked for the past 30 years does not mean it will work for the next 30 years. I hope I'm not working for the next 30 years. Do you encounter this resistance to change in our industry more so or less so maybe than you had even anticipated?
You still run into it, right? And it's because, hey, this is the way that we've been doing things for a long time. It's generational and we don't want to change. Or you know, those guys that go out and price and sell and things like that, it's, hey, this is the way I know how to do it. More and more though, there's so much receptivity to doing something different because they know we have to do something at some point in time. We can't continue to go down this path. And as moving companies grow and as they look to either start multiple sites or multiple locations, multiple branches, they go, we have to have something that's scalable and easy for everybody to adapt to and embrace.
Keep those questions and comments coming. This has been Barry Brown from Smart Moving Software. Barry, you want to leave us with a final thought before you get out of here?
You know what? Just grateful that we're here. Thanks for
Yeah.
the time. And honestly, like seeing the industry and, you know, some of the struggles that we see today and going, hey, it'll go back, it'll change back to how it was before, and just continuing to migrate and continuing to think of different things that you can do stuff is great. So it's been good.
Next time you're in Dallas, I want to get some barbecues.
Let's do
with
it.
you there, okay? This is great. Barry Brown, thank you so much. We actually have another guest on here, so I'll catch you later over there at the Loose Moose. Sahil Mittal from Red Sky Mobility Solutions.
Hey,
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
It's good to see you, buddy. How you doing,
good,
man?
Good. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about Red Sky, our tech sponsor here at the IAM conference.
Right. Yeah, we're a technology solution provider to the industry, and we have an online move management software that lets you manage the entire process from all the way to from the sales process all the way to billing in the end and feedback collection. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about here, and let's get you a little closer.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what makes your product kind of different from some of the other software solutions that we see out there.
Right. Yeah. Well, we've been in the industry for now about 17 years. So it's been in 17 years in development. So we cover a wide range of the various aspects of the moving, what a moving company would need from small to big. And we have a corporate interface as well. So we have a wide range of solutions within our platform, I would say. And it's all web-based as well. So you can access it from any device.
So from my phone to my iPhone?
Right, yeah, you can access it from any device.
So I don't actually have to go in the office. I can just sit here at IAM and mess around and kind of dispatch some shipments or whatever.
You can do it on a beach too,
On the beach. Nice. I've been on some beaches. I don't get very good Wi-Fi out there. But
No, you don't need a very good Wi-Fi.
Bad Wi-Fi work. That's good to know.
3 Mbps or something. And
3 Mbps.
Yeah.
That's what we're running on right now.
Yeah.
No, that's right. So tell us a little bit about your customer base. I mean, what type of customers are good customers for you at Red Sky?
Well, any size company, as long as they're in a moving and relocation industry, is a good size. We have configuration that we can do for various kind of customers. So it doesn't matter whether you're a small mover or a big company with multiple locations and geographies. You can use Red Sky.
Now, are this more? Do you specialize in international or domestic?
Both. We have both aspects built into the platform.
Which one was your first that you moved into?
Well, our biggest focus is obviously the international, because the international has a lot more dynamics to it and a lot more moving parts to it. And so I would say international is the bulk of our kind of focus area.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Is there a part of the world where most of your customers are? Are they US based or what parts of the world?
Yeah, we have a lot of US based customers. We have European customers as well, and now Asia is obviously coming up, and so we have a few clients adding up in Asia as well.
So why would a company choose to use Red Sky? What would you say to a company that's considering a new software provider? Why should they choose Red Sky?
Well, we have it's easy to use. Like I said, it's you don't have to install anything. You don't have to maintain anything. Red Sky does all the compliances for you. So, we have a lot of our clients who need to demonstrate to accounts that, they're compliant with certain, regulations, whether it be privacy rules and regulations,
So GDPR compliance?
Right. GDPR compliance, even how you transfer data from one country to another, there are so Red Sky has compliance built into it, and that's hard for you to do alone, and it's very expensive to do alone. And so when you're with a company like us, you have all of that from day one.
That's a really good point. You're right. I mean, a lot of movers out there aren't really savvy enough to employ like their whole IT and security, information security director out there. So it's good to know that they can partner with a company that already has it baked in. Yeah. What is maybe one of the features that you've released most recently that you're excited about?
Well, we are obviously looking at mobile more, more and more, uh, and integrating that with the AI as well. So, that's something that we're working on behind the scenes, right?
What do you think the application is for AI in our industry? I mean, it is the I was gonna say it's the word on everybody's lips, but really maybe the acronym. What is the real deal application for it in our industry? Is there a space for it?
Well, there are people doing it, and there is a space for it. You got to know what to use it for, but obviously you can go wrong with it as well.
How do you go wrong with it, you think?
Well, AI is obviously still developing. It's still under development. We don't know exactly where all it can go wrong. It does have its pitfall, and I'm sure anybody who's used ChatGPT can tell you that it sometimes gives you the wrong results. And so if you completely rely on an unreliable, untested system, that's not probably the smartest way to go.
Yeah.
So it'll take some few years for for that system to be more robust, and more widely acceptable. But obviously, the applications are used, from automated emails to, various other decision making that you can let an AI
but do you
system
see it being writing, or do you see it kind of going beyond writing?
No, it can go beyond, writing. For example, how to load a shipment into a container.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. That's something that you could use AI towards.
How would we put that and program that into our technology? I love that application. How would we get that information into the hands of the movers?
Well, you got to develop it first, obviously, and that requires a lot of data, and so so it's a lot of learning involved initially, and and then obviously once it's built up, we'll have that. It'll be more easily accessible to the end user.
You just brought up something that's really fascinating, because if we had how to load a shipment, right? So say you do a cube sheet, and then the AI takes a look at that cube and the dimensions of each piece,
right,
and then tells you how to load that truck most efficiently for density,
right,
and it's literally like, this is the order of stuff you're bringing in there,
right.
That could really, I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's just one of the possibilities, but the list goes on, and including how to pack an object, to take various decisions around your company, right. And the AI is already pretty prominent in the hiring industry now, so that's one aspect of the business where even decisions as important as which person to hire is sometimes being taken by an AI system. Yeah,
we do see it. We do see it. I do also, understand that AI, just like any, algorithm or anything programmed by human beings, also can have its own, biases, and it's kind of as good as its programming in a way. Right.
Yeah. Well, an AI doesn't know right from wrong, and so you're telling it what's right and what's wrong, right? So a human can be right and wrong sometimes. So if that learning and that flaw can easily be translated to an AI system as well, Yeah. So
Really
like I said, it's still early days, but obviously it's here to be part of the industry very soon. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. This is great. We got people all over the place here.
Right.
What's been your impression of the conference this year so far, Sale?
Yeah, it's been great. I've been coming to these conferences for a while, and it's been great. Yeah,
1,900 people here, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild,
it's good
dude.
because it's all one big hall, and everybody's in the same hall, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's much easier to meet people.
Speaking of which, we got Charles Beatty checking in. Hi from IAM. Great conference with great people. Hit that like button, Charles. I see you floating around here, Charles. Bring me one of those seltzer waters, man. What's going on over here? Come on. I'm up here for 2 hours. I feel like Jerry Lewis up here. Checking in here. Let's see. Paul. Oh, man. Paul's trolling me. Paul, you really got to go there. He says, Ben, I want you to take the stairs up the CN Tower. Took me 16 minutes. Paul, you're a champion. There will never be another like you, Paul. They're trying to get me to walk the edge. They're trying to get me to walk the edge of the CN Tower at the top.
Yeah.
Have you seen the CN Tower?
No, I haven't gone up there.
Dude,
I don't think I'll be running up.
Dude, it's like
stairs.
it's like the tallest tower in Canada.
Yeah.
It's right out here. I
Mhm.
mean, it's massive. It's gorgeous at night. It's all lit up. Did you see it last night?
Yeah. I definitely saw it. I was there at the opening party and walked
Gorgeous.
back around it. Yeah, it looks
Absolutely
nice. Yeah.
gorgeous. There's
Yeah.
a party going on there tonight. AMJ Campbell's throwing a party at 6 o'clock up there.
Awesome.
In fact, I probably should maybe go take a nap before that thing. Woo, man.
Yeah,
this-
we all could use. a
Yeah,
nap,
right? What are the hours like? Describe the hours and the physical demands of this conference.
Well, you got to do what you got to do, and I think you get used to it, and it's also a lot of fun. So I guess when you're having fun, the time goes by. So
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
You want to leave people with a final thought before we let you go and we bring on our next guest?
Well, I wish everybody the best of time there, and I hope people are able to get some business done. Along with the fun.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Great.
Sahil Mittal,
Yeah,
thank you so much from Red Sky
thanks for
Mobility
having me.
Solutions.
Yeah.
Thanks for
having
stopping by
me.
IAM 360, man.
All right.
Sounds good. All right, let's go. Next. Luis Holst from Gridiron Forwarding.
That's correct.
What's going on, Luis? How you
Good
doing?
to see you. Thank you. All good.
Good to see you. Thank goodness you're
Thank you
not
very
Don
much.
Goldberg.
No,
For goodness sakes. Oh my
Don
gosh.
Goldberg is doing some other business.
This
elsewhere,
guy's
right?
this guy's been kicking my butt in fantasy football for too long, man.
He's actually kicking mine too. We
Oh
we have
my
a grid
gosh.
league, and I'm
You got a
doing.
grid league?
Yeah, I'm doing quite bad.
Man. Sounds like something I would do, start a league
Yeah.
just to beat up on your employees.
Right.
Really cool, man. So tell us about Gridiron Forwarding.
Well, first of all, thanks a lot for the opportunity, and good to see everyone here. Hopefully, you're enjoying. Well, we're actually based in New Jersey, but
Jersey. Shout out to Jersey. in the
shout out to
house.
Jersey. Yeah, and I'm
Dirty
born and raised in
Jersey.
Costa Rica, but
Nice. I didn't think that was a New Jersey accent.
no, not at all.
That's great.
But we can certainly work. We do work for the Department of State, Department of Defense, international U.S. government, business, and we also are trying to develop our commercial and corporate
Oh, nice.
business all around the U.S. So we can cover with the partners that we have all around the U.S. We can cover all the states, and we are trying to develop a little bit of reciprocity from our agents. So if you need to move to or from the U.S. in New York or Los Angeles or Dallas or Houston, wherever, we can certainly cover it, and that's part of what we're trying to develop here. We're actually also silver sponsors, and
Nice.
we have the booth right next to this area.
I see it. And always the
Yeah.
football theme, the
The
American
cheerleaders,
football
yeah.
theme. Yeah,
do.
where's that at?
Everybody's requesting for them, but we don't have for any football cheerleaders for
You
Toronto.
couldn't get a visa for some cheerleaders?
Probably next
Couldn't
year
get some
for Las Vegas,
some
you know.
Argonauts, some Toronto Argonauts
The
cheerleaders
Oakland Raiders cheerleaders are gonna be there next year,
in
probably.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, Gridiron Forwarding, obviously a football theme. Very cool. I see you got some cool swag over there on your booth there. Can
Yeah.
you describe what you're
There's
giving away
also the
over there?
helmet,
Got
which
the
is
helmet.
pretty cool. Yeah. And we have some coasters and some money banks, so you
You got
can
money. You're
feel
giving
free to-
away money. It sounds like
Not
bribery, Luis.
particularly. We're
Tell
giving
me
just
more
the
about
banks.
that. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, we don't
But-
make enough money to bribe people around here.
Right? No, not here.
This is great. We got people checking in. Get in the comments. I want to know
Awesome.
who you are, where you are. Shout out to Hannah Swanson out there.
Tell us
Look at
everything.
this. Fantastic. Get in the comments, like it. Super cool. Annie Ream checking in. Hey, everyone. Tuning in from Glomo HQ. Thank you for
There's
working
a
so
lot
hard.
of traffic over here.
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic. We got a lot of onlookers, rubberneckers,
Absolutely.
people mocking us, making faces at us. Gideon wants to talk about software for West Africa. Great question. Like this, interstate moving and storage, checking in from Virginia. What's up, Gufran Tariq? Very cool. I love the international flavor and vibe here. Is fantastic.
Nice. We should also take this opportunity to invite all of the attendees to the YP social mixer that we're sponsoring.
Tell
as
us
well.
about the YP social mixer.
Absolutely.
Luis.
It's going to be a great party. You know, it's the great opportunity to get engaged with your friends during convention, to do business with friends. You know, it's easier to do business with friends. So when you're there, you get to understand the social part and all the business part, learn from each other. And then when you have to pick up the phone to get something going, because there are going to be issues in every shipment or in every part of the world, you can pick up the phone and call for a friend, and
Yeah.
that friend is gonna definitely help you to solve the problem. You know, it's way
Yeah.
easier.
We've all been there in the summertime, and you got a
Right.
shipment that needs to get serviced, and you're just like, I got a problem. It's like, hey, who knows somebody in New Jersey, right? And it's like,
Exactly.
you know, you call it in, you're like, hey, you know, Steve, do me a favor. Remember that time in Toronto, man? You got to come through for me, buddy.
Remember the Gridiron Social Mixer at
Yes.
Toronto? We had a great time. So that's a perfect opportunity to pick up the phone, call your
Yes.
friend, and get the business done and get the solutions for whatever is going on in with your customers. So that's part of what we try to let the people know, that is the recipe for success, and try to get them engaged and to join us for the YP party.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
all. Where's the YP party tonight?
It's gonna be at the Warhol Pub.
Oh, the
Yeah, it's
Warhol
close by.
Pub.
Yeah, I've heard it's quite cool. I've seen some
Nice.
pictures, haven't been there yet, so should be
go.
fun.
Parties here are incredible.
Yeah.
You know what I love about IAM also is because I go to a lot of conferences and stuff, but IAM actually is the one that throws the parties. And I think it's so important that IAM is the one throwing the parties, because when all the other companies have like their own parties, like people get fragmented off and kind of go do their own thing.
Right.
And it's really great the way that they keep everybody under the same tent. So
Exactly.
we're all having fun together.
Part of this amazing industry, you know.
Yeah. Now, are you in the YP group?
Yeah, I'm actually part of the YP board group.
wow.
Yeah, I'm part of
Tell
the
us what
board
the
members.
YP group is doing this year. At
Well,
IAM.
it's been very interesting. We've been working in new projects, trying to get more engagement from our members, and it's actually the year that we have had more members in the past years getting to join our membership. So it's been quite well. Sheena and Leonard, as chair and vice chair, are doing an absolute great job and trying to get more people engaged and try to learn from what they want to do. And it's been great. You know, I've been serving for a year and a half already, almost 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
And trying to help wherever needed.
Yeah, I loved being a member of the YP group. I felt like it was such a great group to network in. And it really felt like, as I'm now 40, that was the future of the industry in that
It
room.
is.
Those are the people that are going to be here for the next, 20, 30 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, super cool,
It's great.
What's it like working with Don Goldberg? I mean, really,
He's
off
over
the
there.
record,
So
off the record, of course.
off the record,
what's it like?
he's the best boss.
Isn't he wonderful?
He's awesome. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, his team is pretty weak this year in fantasy football.
Oh,
Yeah.
got to talk a little.
Shout out to
about
Dan
that.
Bradley, by the way. Where's Dan at? There's Dan. Yeah, Bye-Week Bradley. Where's Dan at? We love Dan out there throwing us all a bone here. James Fitzgerald checking in. Get in the comments. Hit that like button. Throw a comment out there. James Fitzgerald checking in. Hello from Toronto IAM conference. Happy to be here. Besides the YP party, what are you looking forward to most? Is there a session? Is there another event that you're looking forward to most, Luis?
Well, the YP activities are great too, because
Yeah, what was that team building activity?
it was
that y'all
really cool.
did?
You know, we
That
had to
goose
go
chase
out
thing.
and we were trying to do some scavengers hunt and try
Yeah.
to get some pictures.
Okay.
We had a great time. We laughed a lot, and we were actually trying to accomplish whatever was the tasks that were requested.
Was
it
it like
was-
a team building thing or
It
what?
was the team building, yeah, and we had captains, and the captains had to grab their phones and check whatever tasks were needed to be completed. So, for instance, we had to find someone in their pajamas and take a picture with that
Someone
person.
in their pajamas?
Right, that was
Shoulda
the
came
tough
to my
one.
hotel. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I was planning on calling someone that I know, like, hey, can you go down and wear your pajamas, and we just take you a picture. That
How
that
awkward
way
was
we
that?
accomplished that task.
How awkward was that conversation?
And we were actually not able to fulfill.
You didn't get the pajama?
No,
I didn't even pack
Not the
pajamas.
pajama.
What does pajamas even look like these days? I don't even know if I
Moving
own
pajamas.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, it's good to know that you're chasing people in their pajamas. Sounds like a very constructive use of time here.
absolutely.
Always all these great skills that we learn at the IAM conference here. Luis, I want to ask you, do you got a maybe a final thought or something you want to share with people?
Yeah, sure. Well, I gotta be honest. The best thing that you can do, like I said before, is try to engage with the people that you work with. That way, it should be easier to solve problems. It should be easy to do business. everyone here knows what they're doing. Everyone here is part of this industry, and they know what they have to do in order to succeed. So you're not inventing hot water. You know, it should be easy to engage, should be easy to take advantage of these opportunities in order for you to understand what their needs are and in order to solve problems and do business together. So that's my final thought. That's what I think should be the best of success for, especially for younger generations, right?
Yeah, no, it's really great. It's great that your company invests in sending you here to IAM. I remember my first IAM conference probably 12, 13 years ago. And the people I met, you know, I'm still friends with, right? And obviously, you know, participation in this association has done so much for me and for my career. So you're off to a great start. Sounds like you got a great organization that really believes in professional development and investing in their people. So that's really fantastic. And it's great to meet you, Luis.
A pleasure. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'll see you around.
Of course, Luis Holst from
Thank you very much,
Gridiron
everyone.
Forwarding.
Enjoy.
Hey, that's our show today. A lot of fun. Did about 2 hours here. No sweat. Thanks, everybody, for being with us. We will see you next week in Boston. Take care, everybody.